Well, hello, hello, hello. I hope you all are having a super duper fantastic day out there today. Yes, this is Denise Merriweather, the CEO and founder of Queen's Jumpstart Program. Yes, it's the number one training environment for women in the world looking to leverage their knowledge, ignite their passion, and build a highly profitable business. Yes, we in the house once again with the money cook. Yep, let's talk about debt, baby. Yes, so she's going to help you get your complete life up in here, right? This is part two. So if you missed part one, I'm gonna need you to go back and grab part one and then pay attention to part two. Like I think you're gonna still be okay. It ain't gonna throw you for no loop. I don't think you're not gonna be able to get your goods tonight if you missed it. But that's what happened when you miss. So what that means, you should not be missing any conversations that's taking place on this page. Okay, so if you haven't liked or become a follower of this page, that's what you need to do. You need to just hit Denise Merriweather and like and subscribe to the YouTube page, all the things. But also, I want to go ahead and put the Money Cook site inside of the chat just in case you guys want to go ahead and get with her, connect with her, set up your appointments, do all the things. We're going to get her right from the beginning. All right, Kweyah, look, we're going to talk about debt. We're going to get this part two going. Are you ready for me to dip out so you can go ahead and do your thing?
I am ready for you to dip out so I
All
can
right.
come on and do my thing.
All right, so the money cook is here. Y'all pay attention. Go get your pens, your paper. She about to lay it down. Passing it over.
Thank you so much, Janine. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us again. As you all know, my name is Kweyah Cook. I am the founder of The Money Cook. I specialize in helping women to successfully reach their financial goals. So we're going to jump right into it. This is part two of let's talk about debt, because debt is something that we really need to face. It's a really important topic, and a lot of people really don't know what their options are. Debt keeps us from doing a bunch of things that we really need to do, buying a house, and really getting to where we need to be, getting our credit scores to where we need it to be. Your credit score is like your financial resume, right? So we need to talk about all of the things. Now, if you missed last week, I'm going to go through real quick the top 4 things, and I'm not going to go into detail, so you still going to need to go back to get all of the good stuff and all of the details. But just for the folks that tuned in last week, let me just refresh you real fast. So we talked about the top 4 things, right? The first thing that you want to do is make a list of all of your debt, and you want to put all of the information, the type of debt it is, the amount, the creditor, the interest rate, your monthly payment. The second thing that you want to do is review your budget, and then determine how much additional cash that you have monthly to put towards debt. And this is inclusive of what you're already paying on these debts every month, right? Pick a debt repayment strategy. So there are 3 that I mentioned. There are obviously different options all the time. It's never just 3 options, but the 3 that I recommended last time, debt avalanche or the debt consolidation. So you could, again, go back last week to, find out more information on what those 3 things are and which one works best for you. And also the last thing was to celebrate the wins, right? Because money wins, it's important. We got to celebrate it. Now that I got through those top 4 things, and I hope everyone did their homework, right? Because that's what I wanted you to do. Go and do all of that stuff. So that way, what I'm teaching you about today, it'll be relevant and you can figure out what it is that you want to do. So what I want to talk about today is different things to consider to decrease the amount of debt owed, right? So a lot of the times, we have a credit card debt, we have a loan, we have a medical bill for X amount of dollars, and we always feel like we have to pay that amount. Now, in theory, you do. But if you are in a situation where the debt has become to a point where it is paralyzing, meaning that you are, swimming in debt, you can't do anything, you feel like you're stuck, you have to get to a point where you are negotiating. You have to understand, right? These hospitals, these credit card companies, they're all a business. They all want money. They all want cash. So you have to be strategic in thinking about, okay, well, how much cash do I have? And can I settle these debts with the amount of cash that I have? So let me give you an example. If you have hospital bills, right? You had a baby, maybe you got sick, you didn't have money in your HSA, you didn't have insurance at the time, whatever the situation is, but you have hospital bills. Now, hospitals, especially during COVID, they actually lost billions of dollars, believe it or not, right? You think about how much money you're paying to go to the doctor every time, but they did lose a lot of money. So they're looking for cash. So I'm going to give you just a personal story, right? I was working on a payment plan for a medical debt that I had, or a medical bill that I had. And to be very honest with you, I had the money to pay it up front, but I was annoyed because why are you charging me all of these thousands of dollars to bring life into the world, to bring this miracle into the world, right? I know I'm a little extra, but I was feeling some type of way. So I was like, you know what, put me on a payment plan for the next 6 months and I'm going to pay it off at the end of the year anyway. Well, let me tell you how God worked this out. Let's say, and I don't remember exactly what the amount was, but let's just say this bill was $3,000, or that's how much that I had left to pay at that point in time. I got a letter from the hospital saying, hey, if you pay us $1,500 right now, you won't have to pay the other $1,500, and you'll just owe us $1,500 and we'll call this settled. So you going to take 50% less? Yes, I will write that check right now. Hey, I will hand deliver it to you, okay? Because you just saved me $1,500 that can go towards something else, that can go towards my kids' college. So that's just an example of ways that we can save money on our debts or not pay as much. Now, in that situation, the hospital reached out to me, but that doesn't mean you can't reach out to them. That example just shows you that they're willing to negotiate if you have that cash. If you have that cash, let me say it again. If you have that cash, because let me tell you what I don't want you to do. If you have a credit card or a hospital bill or another bill from a different creditor for $2,000, and let's say you can negotiate it down to $1,000, I think you should have $1,000 of cash to pay it. Don't take a credit card and go pay another debt, because what you're doing is you're not fixing the overall problem. You're decreasing your debt maybe a little bit by $1,000, but you're just putting that $1,000 on another credit card, right? The goal is to pay off the debt, not to give it a different look, not to, give it a facelift. Really, you want to pay it off. You want to completely get rid of it. Another thing that you can do with your credit cards, let's say you're maxed out on credit cards. It happens, right? Like, we've all been there. You maxed out on credit cards and you owe a certain balance. Maybe call the credit card company and say, hey, I owe you $7,000. I have $4,000 right now. Will you take it? Now, they may try to play hardball with you. They may threaten to close the account, but maybe you can negotiate and say, hey, I'm okay with closing the account. I just don't want any, negative remarks on my credit report. You would have to talk to them and have that conversation to see what it will ultimately end up looking like for you. But if you are honestly in a position already where you have so many negative remarks on your credit report, closing a credit card and being able to pay less money is really not going to change your situation. So same thing with loans. The point that I'm really just trying to make here is that most things are negotiable. And I think, we as a people, sometimes we just get paralyzed by the amount of debt that we have. We don't want to face it. We don't want to talk about it, and then we ignore it. You really want to get to a point where you face it and you start thinking about, being a CFO or a business owner of your debt. Like, how can I settle this? How can I make this work for me? And then again, set those goals to say, hey, I have, let's call it $20,000 of debt. And by the end of 3 years, by the end of 5 years, I want this debt to be completely, gone. And then you work towards those goals. But everything is negotiable. Get out there, do the work, ask the questions. The worst that they can tell you is no. And then you have to figure out how you're going to pay $5,000 versus $3,000. But you don't know unless you try. So that's my tidbit here for today. Now, last week, I did tell you guys that if you join today, I was going to be doing a giveaway. So I've been thinking about it a lot. And what I really want to do is for everyone who signs up, and Deneen is going to do me a huge favor, and she's going to put the link in the chat. I'm basically giving away a free consultation. And what I will do is work with you to determine, it's one hour session where I will work with you to determine what debt repayment strategy works best for you and what I think you should do considering your, financial situation. Now, I think that this is going to be super helpful because, again, a lot of the times when we're in our own mess or in our own stuff, we can't really, think through it. It's nice to have a second pair of eyes, someone who's completely unbiased to, come and take an overview or a different look and give you a suggestion. Now, I'm not going to force you to do anything that you don't want to do, but I've been doing this for a long time. As I said, I'm so passionate about personal finances, specifically women and Black people really getting to where we need to be financially. And I work in corporate finance. So I'm finance through and through. I know how to be completely unbiased. And I know that if you work with me, you're definitely going to get the results that you're looking for. So if you're interested in winning a free session, please register in the link that Deneen is going to put in the chat. And I look forward to working with you. And also in that link, you can tell me what other topics you want to learn about or hear about in terms of personal finance. So please go ahead, fill out the link, and Deneen, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
All right, I'm back up in here. Yep, I'm working the chat, y'all. I hope y'all see. I got the notes. I put some notes in there. I don't know if I put. Now, did you give them a recap of what you covered today? Just go up. Did you?
I did not. I did not give a recap.
Give a recap real quick. I'm gonna stay on, but just give a recap because I was too busy giving other notes.
I'm sorry. So the recap, basically, if you have hospital bills, other creditors or whatever, and it's at a point where you feel like you can't pay the amount, call them, reach out to them, find out if you can negotiate a lower amount, right? Same thing with credit cards. If you're in a situation where you're maxed out on credit cards, if you haven't been paying the credit cards, but you really want to get this monkey off your back, call them, try to negotiate. The purpose of this live is negotiate. Everything is a business. I think everything is negotiable. Call them, ask the questions, be persistent. They may tell you no the first time, call back next week and speak to someone else and escalate, right? And you can just listen. I'm trying to help y'all. I'm trying to get y'all this money, right? Let me give you this $5,000 now, or you could take the $7,000 over 10 years, because that's how long I'm gonna take to pay.
She about to be playing them ghetto games,
money, right? So take this $5,000 now, right?
Or wait 10 years.
Because I can only, if you don't take this $5,000 now, I can only give you $2 a month, right? So take it or leave it. But no, obviously you want to be nicer and you want to approach it from, the standpoint of, hey, I'm trying to be responsible. I want to take care of this. So help me help you type of thing, And like I said, be persistent, call people, try to escalate as much as you can. You can definitely do it. And for those, and this is for really, those who are in a situation where they really can't. Now, I feel like if you could pay it, right? So that way you leave the door open for those people or opportunities for those people that really need that extra help. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
So that was a quick recap.
Yes, I appreciate it. And then just like you said, also just, and I think you talked about this, just understand too, when you talk to the creditors and you start negotiating, you might lose the card. But remember, if you need the money more than you need the card, go for the coins, go for the liquid, right? Go for the liquid.
Because you probably already got another credit card. So
right.
It's like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And plus, if you're in that situation, you probably don't need to be using credit anyway, right?
Yeah.
And this is just me being real. This is a real situation that people face. So I'm being funny and I'm laughing about it, but seriously, we have to be real with what our situation is. And if I am at a point where I'm calling now to negotiate debt, that means that I really need to, take a step back and look at what I'm doing and look at what my spending habits are and realize that maybe I am spending more, that I'm living beyond my means, and and I need to adjust that. So
absolutely. Well, look, I just put in the chat again the form for you to register to win. Obviously you could tell she's well informed. She's the real deal. As Alicia is saying in the chat, thank you, Alicia, for being here. Definitely share this video, tag people that need help with their money and their debt, right? I want to say she talked about budgets maybe like a month or so ago. So if you missed that, you need to go grab that. But on last week, she did the first part of this debt. So if you missed the strategies, I think she gave like 3 or 4, you know, with the snowballing and the dropping down and all these other avalanches and all of this. Go get it from number one. We ain't doing it again today. All right. Always looking forward to serving you. The Money Cook, she will be back. Now, she will be back. Give us a week or two. She's going to be back up in here dropping some more knowledge. So make sure Thursdays at 7 o'clock, y'all be checking in to see whether or not the Money Cook is up in here cooking this stuff up so y'all can get y'all complete life around your finances. Always looking forward to serving you. We will see you guys again soon. Have a good day. I see you at Live at 5 tomorrow.